Hi again, it's Todd Kramer here. I spent a lot of time in my career as an instructional coach, and one of the roles as an instructional coach was really diving into data to see kind of what's falling through the cracks instructionally, where we need to do some scaffolding and building up of skills. And I kind of, tied into those skills with this artifact as I looked at developing my collection plan. There was a lot of analysis involved. Again, relying on my past career as I looked at the Central Rappahannock Regional Library here in my own community, and specifically, I took a look at the Salem Church branch. I did some work right away, just doing an environmental scan of the branch. As I scroll through here, you'll see some of those details. But I wanted to analyze the library's physical and digital resources. I found that while the library's mission is to inspire lifelong learning for everyone, it definitely jumped out that certain populations were being underserved. For example, here in our community, we have a 12% Hispanic and Latino population. However, my analysis revealed that it was really a much smaller finding number than that. It was like 0.22% of the library's total collection was even available in Spanish. I also took a look at the homeless population in our community, which is a pretty large population that's growing, and our teen population, and looked at some of those figures. And as I scroll through here to the areas of focus, you can see how I dug into how the library could better serve both of those patron groups as well. To really make this plan actionable, I proposed a 3-year plan that would help close some of those gaps because I realized and recognized it would take a little bit of time to build up some of the resources. So I have materials for each area of improvement here. And as I highlight through this section, you'll see that it wasn't just about buying books, physical or digital. For our homeless patrons, I really wanted to recommend utilizing some of the collectors at the shelters and expanding the library's fleet of Netgear, Nighthawk. They're like hotspots that we have, as well as Galaxy Chromebooks that we currently use, and expanding those so that the homeless patrons would have mobile access to job applications and support services when they couldn't make it to the library or when they are away from the library. And then if we scroll down a little bit further, you'll see here in my systematic plan table, you'll also see recommendations I have for our ESL, ESOL population, that community, including translating the key physical signage in the library to make sure that the physical library is just a more welcoming and accessible space. This project really pushed me to think about collections as dynamic services rather than just these static collections of books on shelves. I think that really fulfills SLO 6, which is all about analyzing current and historical trends. I had to dive into all of our local data, the U.S. Census data, local school demographics, in order to be able to pull that information out and forecast the needs of our community rather than just guessing at something. I felt like this project already did a good job too of focusing on SLO 1, which is just creating those innovative responses to the diverse community. And again, focusing on that area of technology for access for homeless and the multilingual resources for ESOL, I think were strategies that really responds to those inequities in our region. And then lastly, the competency SLO 5, which is all about integrating technology again. Again, I think that was something I tried to focus on by closing up that equity gap that exists between technology and our community and our patrons. I think this artifact was a lot of work, and it really did a good job, I think, of just showing my belief that a library's collection really has to go beyond just being books and services for kind of what we see as the middle ground, and it really needs to reflect the entire population of the community. So thank you for watching this overview.